Try to solve this riddle in your head as quickly as you can. A bat and a ball cost a total of $1.10. The bat costs exactly $1 more than the ball. How much does the ball cost? If you're like most people, the number 10 cents just popped into your mind instantly. But if the ball costs 10 cents and the bat costs $1 more, the total would be $1.20. The correct answer is 5 cents. Even at top universities, more than half of students fail this test. This happens because your brain uses two distinct architectures to process the world. System 1 is fast, automatic, and emotional. It's what gave you that instant, incorrect answer. System 2 is slow, logical, and effortful. It's the part of you that has to work to solve the actual math. Psychologist Daniel Kahneman and his partner Amos Tversky spent decades mapping these two systems. Their research proved that our logical minds are far less reliable than we think, a discovery that eventually won Kahneman the Nobel Prize in economics. We assume our analytical System 2 is in charge, but it's inherently lazy. It prefers to conserve energy, which means it often rubber stamps the fast, flawed shortcuts offered by System 1 without checking the work. This suggests that the same shortcuts that fail a simple math riddle are often quietly influencing our more complex choices. System 1 keeps us moving through the day by using heuristics, mental shortcuts that turn complex problems into simple ones. One of the most powerful is the rule that what you see is all there is. Our brains are wired to build a complete, confident story based only on the immediate data in front of us, while completely ignoring what's missing. This creates predictable traps, like the anchoring effect. When we try to estimate the value of something, our brain latches on to the very first number it hears, using that anchor to set the scale for every following thought. Researchers demonstrated this by asking two groups of people to guess how old Mahatma Gandhi was when he died. Group A was first asked if he was older than 114. Group B was asked if he was older than 35. Because their brains latched on to those initial, random numbers, Group A's final guesses were significantly higher than Group B's. We also judge how likely something is to happen based on the availability heuristic. Instead of looking at statistics, System 1 simply asks, how easily can I remember an example of this? This is why a single, highly publicized plane crash can make millions of people afraid to fly, even though everyday car accidents are statistically far more common. A vivid, violent image is easily recalled, so System 1 treats it as a higher priority risk than the mundane dangers of a daily commute. Relying on the first numbers we hear and the most vivid images we recall, our brains construct a reality prioritizing speed over accuracy. You might expect these glitches to disappear in high-stakes environments, like Wall Street, where experts are paid millions to be rational. But when Kahneman analyzed the performance of top investment advisors, he found that their results were essentially random. In unpredictable environments like the stock market, their ability to pick winning stocks was no better than a coin toss. We miss this reality because of the narrative fallacy. When a company succeeds through a mix of luck and timing, we invent a story about a visionary CEO to make the past feel predictable. We turn random events into a neat, logical tale of cause and effect. The more complex a situation becomes, the more System 1 tries to find a pattern, hallucinating expertise and predictability where there is only noise. This friction between our two systems is best seen in how we handle money. Classical economics assumes we are rational, but Kahneman's prospect theory showed we are actually driven by something much more visceral, loss aversion. On a psychological level, we don't value gains and losses equally. The pain of losing $100 is roughly twice as intense as the joy of gaining that same 100. This instinctual aversion to loss is why investors often panic during market dips. They sell their holdings at the bottom, not because it's a sound financial move, but simply to stop the immediate psychological sting of watching the numbers drop. It's also why we struggle with sunk costs. We stay in failing projects or sit through boring movies simply because we've already spent the money. We would rather waste our future time than admit a past loss. Our biology is programmed to avoid the regret of a loss at all costs, even when fear leads us directly into a mathematically worse outcome. These systematic errors aren't just limited to the decisions we make in the moment. They extend to how we remember the past. Kahneman argues that we have two selves, the experiencing self, who lives through every moment, and the remembering self, who looks back. When the remembering self evaluates an experience, it follows the peak end rule. Instead of averaging out the entire duration of a trip, our brains only really care about two things: the most intense moment of the experience and how it ended. Everything in between is effectively discarded. This means we don't choose our future based on our actual experiences. We choose based on the highly edited, often inaccurate memories that System 1 has stored for us. We can't simply turn off these instincts, but we can build systems to bridge the gap between our automatic impulses and our logical goals. In any negotiation, you have to consciously resist the anchor. Recognize that the first price you hear is designed to trap your System 1, and refuse to let it become your baseline for what is fair. Before making a major decision, try a pre-mortem. Imagine a year has passed and your project has failed. By forcing yourself to explain why it failed before you even start, you bypass System 1's natural overconfidence and expose the risks you've been ignoring. We are hardwired to prioritize speed over accuracy. So the next time life hands you an easy, intuitive answer, do not trust it immediately. Take a breath and think slow.